The year is 1810, and the Serbs have achieved a significant victory at Varvarin. The situation now looks much better than after Chegar, when it seemed that the Serbian uprising was nearing its end. Just as Russian assistance had saved the Serbs back then, now new threats are approaching them from Napoleon himself. At the end of September 1810, the Turks raised an army for one last attempt to strike Serbia across the Drina. Their powerful force numbered about 30,000 soldiers, commanded by Ali Pashavich. The Turkish goal was to capture Loznica, a strategic position where the Serbs had long resisted them. Loznica had been the site of earlier battles, and it held the west of the Pashalik firm. The Ottoman army crossed the Drina in small boats called shaykas and advanced towards Serbian territory. They reached the fields near Loznica, set up camp, and began besieging the Serbian position there. The Serbian garrison numbered only about 1,200 men, led by Antonije Bogicević. But despite being outnumbered, they held their ground. After 12 days of fierce fighting, food supplies began to run low. Bogicević sent a messenger to Šabac to seek help from Luka Lazarević. Lazarević gathered his men and marched south, while Jakov Nenadović also advanced from Banija to relieve Loznica. At the same time, Karađorđe, fresh from his victory at Varvarin, marched with reinforcements, including 200 Cossacks. The Serbian forces united near the village of Runjani, swelling their strength to around 10,000. Instead of going straight to Loznica, Karađorđe moved his army to the Tichar fields, where the Ottomans were encamped. Seeing this maneuver, Ali Pasha accepted Karađorđe's challenge and divided his army. One part moved toward Loznica, while the other faced Karađorđe. This division proved a grave mistake. The clash erupted into a fierce battle. The Serbs, though fewer, fought with determination. As evening fell, the fighting paused, but during the night, Serbian forces drew even closer to the Ottoman camp. Reinforcements soon arrived. Sima Marković joined with 2,000 men, strengthening Karađorđe's side. The next morning, the Turks launched a powerful assault, fighting desperately with muskets, bayonets, and sabers. The struggle lasted 8 hours, hand to hand. Despite their numbers, the Ottoman ranks began to falter under the Serbian pressure. Karađorđe led a cavalry charge through the Ottoman lines, while Antonije Bogicević ordered his men to storm out of their fortifications. The Ottomans broke and retreated toward the Drina, pursued by the Serbs. Serbian losses numbered around 120, while the Ottomans lost nearly 500. The victory at Loznica was celebrated as one of the great triumphs of the uprising, alongside Deligrad and Mishar. After the victory, Serbian society enjoyed a period of relative peace. In 1811, reforms strengthened the young state, trade with Austria flourished, and new administrative structures replaced the earlier system of local Nahidja representatives. Yet political tensions persisted, as some voivodes opposed Karađorđe's leadership. Meanwhile, Europe faced greater upheavals. Napoleon Bonaparte's ambitions threatened Russia, forcing it to conclude peace with the Ottomans. On the 28th of May 1812, the Treaty of Bucharest ended hostilities between Russia and Turkey. Serbia, dissatisfied with its terms, was left isolated. Only 13 days later, Napoleon invaded Russia, shifting Ottoman attention back towards Serbia. By the end of July 1813, they had assembled a massive force and attacked Serbia from 3 directions, from Vidin, Niš, and Bosnia. Ahmed Pasha commanded the Vidin army, numbering around 60,000 soldiers. Mehmed Bayram Pasha led the Niš army, also numbering about 60,000. While the Bosnian forces were under the command of Bosnian Vizier Ali Pasha, numbering around 100,000. On the other side, the Serbs, anticipating the Turkish assault, decided to confront them head-on. Karađorđe had originally suggested guerrilla warfare, but the decision was made to fight in open battle. On the northern front, Mladen Milovanović led 18,000 troops. On the eastern front, Hajduk Velko commanded 7,000. Sima Marković led 7,000 on the western front, and Miloš Obrenović commanded 6,500 in the southwest. A reserve of approximately 1,500 fighters was stationed in Topola under Karađorđe, who was seriously ill at that time. Altogether, about 50,000 Serbs faced a Turkish force of roughly 200,000. Ali Pasha attacked positions defended by Hajduk Veljko from Vidin. Veljko had constructed trenches, raised fortifications, and prepared to resist the Turks. The defense of Negotin was particularly fierce. Veljko held his ground and inflicted heavy losses on the attackers, but over time, the defenders' strength waned. He sent letters to Belgrade, mobilized militias, and remained confident in victory. On the 77th day of the siege, Hajduk Veljko was killed. Following this, Negotin fell into Turkish hands. The Serbs retreated toward the interior regions. The long Turkish column from Niš advanced along the Morava River to attack Serbia from the south. After a short march, they assaulted Deligrad. There, Nilak Editinacic organized the defense under Vujika Vudicevic's leadership. Antonije Vjatic, positioned on the western flank, joined the defenders at Deligrad. Thanks to the brave defense of Deligrad, the Serbs temporarily held back the Turkish advance. Meanwhile, the Bosnian army crossed the Drina and captured Loznica. The attack affected the entire Serbian front, pushing the forces steadily towards Šabac. In August, the battle at Ravnja took place, where the Serbs fought heroically but were ultimately defeated, allowing the Turkish army to continue its advance. After the failure at Deligrad, the Turkish command reorganized and continued the offensive toward the south. Toma led the fortress defense while other units pressed deeper into Serbia, attempting to suppress the uprising. From the east, the massive Turkish army advanced relentlessly toward Belgrade, leaving little chance for organized resistance. Karađorđe, along with surviving commanders and some of the population, decided to cross the Danube and seek refuge in Austria. On the 6th of October, Belgrade fell, marking the collapse of the First Serbian Uprising. Belgrade held out until early November 1815. Defenders eventually left Serbia, with some fleeing to Austria, while others remained and returned home. In this devastating Turkish campaign, over 100,000 Serbs perished, and a similar number became refugees in Austria and among local rulers. The First Serbian Uprising ultimately did not succeed in fully liberating Serbia, but it demonstrated that the Ottoman forces were vulnerable to organized local resistance. It showed that, despite being outnumbered, the Serbian rebels could effectively challenge a much larger army. The uprising also inspired hope among the Balkan peoples that Ottoman rule could be resisted. It encouraged a broader awareness of national identity and the possibility of regional liberation. In the years that followed, these ideas laid the groundwork for future efforts to free the Balkans from Ottoman control, which would gradually unfold in the coming decades.